Went on an 11-day vacation and came back to an absolute nightmare. It's a no for me, dog. I'll be the first one to say at face value, that is completely unacceptable to come home to. I would be pissed. Outside of like home invasion, there really is no good excuse for the house looking like that. And I know that there were some people in the comments saying, oh, well, isn't that a sign of a dad just having fun with his kids? No, my husband was a stay-at-home dad for a really long time. He had a lot of fun with the kids. I never came home to the house looking like that.
Normally, I hate to see a pile-on happening in the comments, and her comments are, of course, ruthless. But in this situation, it's justified because she thought this was funny. Like, how soon do we think she's gonna realize this isn't funny, this isn't unique to their marriage, it's just a funny, quirky thing that works for them? Women deserve to enjoy their lives, to not have the existence of everything else hanging on their backs, and they shouldn't be punished for enjoying their time away from their family. And listen, I'm not judging their marriage, but like, I think we all can see this is absolutely ridiculous behavior. The way I would take his credit card, book myself a massage, a shopping spree, a stay at the Four Seasons until this is fixed. And I'm not trying to judge, but I think we can all agree that anyone who would engage in this type of behavior likely is going to get angry at their wife for posting something like this. So I genuinely hope that nothing negative comes of this in their household. And again, I don't know this woman or their marriage, but like, I'm glad we're all concerned about this one. This is like not okay.
Many people respond to this video, talk about it in terms of punishment, that he is punishing his wife. That is absolutely correct. I want to take it in a slightly different direction though, because it's also hypocritical. How many times have we heard men on this app complain that women won't tell them what they need, what they want, their words, their actions? It's always mystifying because they can't come right out and say it. She can't tell you what she wants to do. She can't tell you what she wants to eat. But this is so much worse than any of that because the stakes are so much higher. And I am certain that he said that it was fine. Maybe he even encouraged her to go away. He certainly did not express just how opposed he was. I can't imagine she would have done it at all if she knew it would enrage him this much. This isn't passive aggressive, this is aggressive aggressive.
I was still married. I went away for a week, leaving my now ex-husband to care for our cat, who was getting on in years and had several issues with his kidneys as well as feline dementia and was kind of missing the litter box a lot. But I left for about a week and trusted him to take care of our cat. When I returned, I discovered that the cat had gone all over a couch that we had in the house. And rather than clean it up, he had left it for me for several days. So it was, of course, stinky and yucky and gross. But I cleaned it, and his excuse for not cleaning it was something along the lines of, well, you know, I have a gag reflex. Yeah. So after that, every time I had to be gone, I would hire somebody to take care of the cat, even though that he was home and could have done it. I hired somebody to take care of our cat. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that her partner is a narcissist, y'all, but that is an example of weaponized incompetence. And of course, if you're new here, I'm actually a diagnosed narcissist, and I point out toxic people's traits and behaviors. Y'all, that's on purpose. That right there, this right here is an example of like, I was trying to clean it up, but you do a better job at it. This is when people play stupid or play dumb and just make it seem like you do tasks better. So they just allow you to do it. Like you couldn't pick the paper towel roll up or any of these toys or anything. And no, it's not just the kids either, because those are adult shoes right there, y'all. This is absolutely on purpose. This is like a punishment for going on a vacation and leaving me here with the kids. I'm gonna show you what happens. So if you're dealing with this or you're a victim of this, it makes you not want to go on vacation anymore because you don't want to come home to that right there. You can't enjoy time to yourself because you're scared of what you're going to come home to. Like home absolutely destroyed or whatever. Kids, you know, it just, her caption said, at least he kept the kids alive. Telling you, if you have a toxic, narcissistic partner, they will do this type of stuff on purpose just to pay you back for going out of town and leaving here with the kids. So so you don't want to do it anymore. And no, your partner doesn't have to be a narcissist to do that, but weaponized incompetence is a real thing, y'all. Yeah. Oh, I don't know how to wash the clothes, so you do it better. I don't know how to run the dishwasher because you just do it better. They come out cleaner when you do it. It is absolutely 100% on purpose, and it's conditioning you to do everything. And before the toxic people hop in the comment section and saying, well, like, what? Maybe the other person pays all the bills and that's their job to clean up. Shut the up. Like literally, shut the up. Like when the paying all the bills absolve you of doing anything at home. Anything. That
because my partner sees me struggling, sees me, having a hard time with the kids, cooking, cleaning, doing whatever, and you're watching me suffer, and I'm married to you. Oh my God. You talking about jail? I said I do to you, and you're watching me struggle with your children, and you not gonna help me? I'd rather you just not be here at all.
A lot of people think single moms are just women without a spouse. Sometimes you can be a single mom in a relationship because you are doing all the work, and all he's been prepared to be as a man is a protector and a provider, but nobody told him he has to be a nurturer. So you have some of these women that are losing themselves in a marriage because they excessively have to be a mom and a dad because you are there and you are not helping. You want this woman to be your wife, but how can she when she's a full-time mom doing overtime on momming because you're not helping? You don't feel like freeing up a day or two so she can enjoy herself, so she can go out, so she can feel like a human being, so she can revitalize herself, so she can be her best version of herself for you, but yet and still you'll work, you'll come home, and she's doing the same things. It's not like she's just a stay-at-home mom. No, she works and she takes care of the kids almost full time. Listen, men, it is our responsibility to raise our children too. Duh.
Am I the only one who thinks women are glorifying their abusive husbands by not calling out their abuses? Why do we laugh when a man lives in a dirty house because his wife is away on vacation and he doesn't have the decency to clean and tidy his home? How is it acceptable that a new mom, nursing a 7-day-old baby, cooks, cleans, does laundry, goes grocery shopping, and makes sure her husband's emotional needs are provided while her husband sits on the couch chatting on his phone and watching her stress out and gives her compliments on how sexy she looks despite having a baby? Well, that's normal. In fact, the man truly loves his wife for noticing how pretty she looks under stress. It's not like he could pick up the brush and clean the toilet or wash the dishes. He has no hands to do that. Men's hands are used for eating, during sex, and making money only. If they do anything else, their hands will fall off. We don't want our husbands to lose their hands, do we? Of course not. Besides, normalizing abuse is not a crime in our society. You remember how a girl is harassed on the streets because she looked too good for men to resist and everyone said she asked for the attention? Or the wife who spoke out that her husband rapes her, but she was shut down because her body now belongs to her husband the minute she said "I do" during her wedding vows? So yes, husbands get a pass for abusing their wives for the obvious reasons that women are legalized slaves. It's the woman's job to ensure her house is clean, that her children are raised properly, her family is untied, and to ensure that her husband doesn't cheat. But what about men? Their job is to ensure there's money in the house to put food on the table. Despite women becoming the main breadwinners in most homes, the husbands are excused for being lazy assholes because it's not a man's duty to do house chores. Our problem is not the men, but rather the women that enable their husbands' abuses. These women know that being a full-time mom is emotionally damaging, but they pretend to be all right in front of men, including their husbands, but cry foul to their female friends. I've lost sympathy for these women. About a month ago, my friend Cynthia asked me to borrow her money to buy foodstuff for her husband and son, but I refused. I told her the money I had at that moment was meant for my flight ticket to Santa Monica. I had planned the trip weeks prior to get away from the emotional stress of work. Cynthia got offended that I was refusing to lend her my assistance over a trip. I reminded her that my mental health was just as important as her family's physical health. This wasn't the first time I had bailed Cynthia out of her family troubles. There was a time she woke me up in the middle of the night to come and pick her and her 12-year-old son. She needed a place to spend the night because her husband got drunk and was beating them up. The following day, I encouraged her to press charges against her abusive husbands, but she refused. She said he wasn't always violent, except when he's drunk. In her plea on his behalf, she said he always apologizes when he's sober. Whenever Cynthia needs financial help, she comes running to her single friends. I have tried to advise her to leave the marriage since her husband is irresponsible and the marriage is destroying her life, but she ignores my advice. Luckily, she got a job at a local storage factory after he left them starving for 3 days. But the pay isn't enough to cover their monthly expenses. So she's always borrowing and she hardly pays back. I hate it when my married female friends feel entitled to my time and affection simply because I'm single. They use me as their nanny whenever they need a babysitter, and they don't care how inconvenient the request would be for me. When they need a loan, they come to me because they think I always have spare cash since I have no family responsibility draining my pocket. They don't care that I have a 19-year-old in the university and an elderly mom to care for. But because my dependents don't live with me, they think I'm not spending money as much as they do. I hate it when my married friends think I'm apathetic because I prioritize my well-being instead of their children. They have grown-ass men as partners who should be sharing part of their burden. But they rather blame their single friends for not helping them out than their incompetent husbands. Unfortunately, most women do not realize their husbands are weaponizing their incompetence. They have no idea these men fake being incompetent because they want to avoid their responsibilities. Men are not fools like some women think they are. They use this strategy to avoid certain household chores and their parental duties. They know that if they pretend to be incompetent, their girlfriend or wife will be forced to do those things themselves, thereby creating an imbalance in domestic labor.
Ladies, when you send us to the store, turn your ringtone on. It's not even in case we might call you, okay? We're going to call you.
Let's call this what it is. It is weaponized incompetence. It is a strategic move to try not to have to do that task again in the future. It is a move meant to make her feel like she can't trust him with that task because he's so incapable of it. He's just not resourceful enough to follow through on simple tasks like grocery shopping. And even if your partner gives you the most specific list, asking for the most specific kind of eggs, and they're not where you think they should be, you know who can answer your questions better than your partner can? People who work at that store. They're the ones who can tell you where that is. They're the ones who can say, yes, sir, let me show you the way to the aisle that has the special eggs, right? Looking to your partner to know everything, do everything, and be your personal assistant to guide you through life is not something most women are looking for. And it is a very strategic move by many men to try to get out of having to do things. If they do it poorly enough times, their partner's just not going to ask them to do it anymore.
Hey, can you wash the potatoes on the counter?
Yeah. Hey, this palm olive is good to wash the potatoes, right?
Oh my gosh, Brandon, you're supposed to use water, not soap. You just go in there and sit down and I'll take care of this.
A moment my wife thought I was weaponizing incompetence, which I called her out on. Recently, I've been trying to use the barbecue more. I'm not that great at it still, but I'm getting better. Everly's been sick and we're trying to get her to eat. So one of the things that we are trying to do is just sit down and eat dinner, try to get her to come. She requested I start building her plate for her rather than the way I like to do it, which is typically wait for her to get there, then feed her a little bit at a time. I started cutting the chicken with a fork. I wanted to see how tender it was, and I was also lazy and didn't want to get up and get another knife. Alyssa saw me doing this, took the chicken away from me, started cutting it with her knife, saying, "What, you're too lazy to cut it yourself?" I said, "Hold up, you're taking this away from me right now." Yeah, sure, I'm doing it inefficiently. Give me another 45 seconds, I'm gonna get annoyed enough that I'm gonna have to get a knife. But you're taking it away from me, cut it out. The slow pace of this is not causing any impact towards the issue of her coming to the table. She was still in the living room. Moms, stop taking things away from us when we're doing it our way and there's no harm in us doing it our way. Sometimes there is harm in us doing it our way. Not what I'm talking about here. Specifically in the cases where you're pulling something away to put back on your plate that he's taking care of in his own crappy way like myself. Guys, share this with a woman that you know is doing this for tasks that are actually harmless. And at the same time, be ready. If you share this, she may share with you the impacts that you don't realize.
I hear a lot of men complain about their wives not having time for them and that they focus their attention on the children but can't seem to figure out that they, the men, are the cause. Men happily allow their wives to shoulder the responsibilities of two people, but they forget that a tired wife won't have the desire for sex, nor will she have the empathy to understand their emotional problems. A friend of mine who is a therapist says some of her female clients usually come for advice on how to get their husbands or boyfriends to take on more responsibilities at home. These women are depressed from doing all the housework while their partners stay out with friends or play games whenever they are home. Nowadays, most women work remotely, and this can bridge the boundaries between work and housework. If the woman is burned out from working tirelessly during the day and asks her husband to prepare dinner, her husband might shrug her off by reminding her how he burnt the steaks in his last attempt to make dinner, leaving the woman with no other choice but to make the dinner herself, adding an extra workload to her already stressful day. A study conducted by BMC Public Health found that weaponized incompetence causes undue stress due to exhaustion from disproportionate house labor. Because women are taught to be the backbone of their husbands, the pressure to be the perfect wives in the eyes of society limits women's autonomy and increases their health risk. These women feel bitter. They are exhausted. They make bad decisions. They have difficulty with sleep, are depressed, and often fatigued. If you notice your husband is leaving tasks or house chores he claims doesn't know how to do, show him how to do the task or send him a tutorial on where he can learn how, but don't ignore his incompetence. It's important you let your partner know how much their incompetence is affecting your health and the relationship. Until women put a stop to the abuse of men weaponizing incompetence and start treating their husbands as they should, which is holding them accountable for their actions and setting boundaries with their duties in the family, such men will never change. Men need to realize that they are as responsible for raising their children as much as women are. They need to know that women are emotionally and physically traumatized by the excessive workload they do in keeping the family healthy and peaceful.
That's it for today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more relationship tips like this one. Also, share this video with your friends and family to support our channel. Thank you for watching.